So our first presenter is actually not in the program. It was actually a surprise. He emailed us, asked if he could present. He's actually a comedian, Gerard Horan. Gerard Horan is actually well known in the baseball circle. He was minor league and major league, I believe, right?
No,
just minor leagues, okay. I don't have a presentation for him, so I can just make stuff up. Is what I think I'll do. So he's a comedian. He plays all around. If you Google, you can see him at various places. He's been in various shows, Red Eye, various things. So why don't we bring up Gerard Horan?
Thank you, Jay Edgar. Libertarian named after like the greatest statist in American history. Fantastic. Awesome, guys. So I'm here to talk to you today about the value of taxation and why Bernie Sanders was right. Taxes are the prices that we pay for a civilized society. Get it together, hippies. All right. No, good afternoon. This is really awesome, guys. This is really cool. Appreciate you guys having me. I really appreciated Larry Sharpe. I've been following him on Facebook. I didn't know. I would. How much money would you actually pay to see Larry Sharpe against Rick from Pawn Stars? Yeah. Right? That would be great. Right? This shirt's worth $500. I got a guy who says it's worth $1,550. Right? That was pretty cool. I'm gonna hit him up online and tell him next time he wants to get some more donations. Maybe you don't come to a room in New Jersey with a free buffet and offer up meat eating t-shirt. I mean, I wanted to buy the shirt. But I also don't want to show my belly button to a room full of strangers, so that's good. But yeah, so I do comedy now, and I do comedy in New York City and all across. So it's really great to not be in an incredibly far left progressive room trying to talk politics. That's honestly, it's a luxury for me. And I look around the room and a couple things I noticed. I mean, way more packed than I thought it would be. So the organizers, really, congratulations to you guys. This is outstanding. Really great. It shows, you talk about, the free market. It shows that there really is a market for this ideology now more than ever. I think that is something that I think we can all agree on. And honestly, this room smells nowhere near like the amount of marijuana I thought it would smell like. I thought, when they were like, the conference room's upstairs, I'm like, I don't smell it upstairs. I mean, sure? I came up here and I saw flowers and a buffet. I was like, I thought I was going to see drugs and, somebody talking about the existential benefits of LSD. As opposed, but it was really cool, man. So, a few things, like, when we talk about comedy, and the guys asked me to talk a little bit about, how we can use comedy to branch out and spread the message of liberty. And I think all of us understand the value of social media, right? We're probably all social media addicts. We go to, liberty.org and all that other stuff, right? And we sit there and we have political arguments with the kid that used to sell us Xanax in high school, right? I mean, is that pretty much, yeah? No, not really? Not Xanax, sir? No? Something else? Fair enough. Yeah, but we sit here, and I think one of the issues is that we're always trying to be right, because we always are right? We sit here, and we don't blindly accept what our demagogues are telling us to believe. So we come up to our own conclusions, and that ruffles a lot of feathers, right? Because free thought is very dangerous to people that don't want to have that burden of free thought, right? Not just me, I'm the only one that argues with people on Facebook, really? I'm going to Facebook friend every single one of you, and every single time you say something needlessly contrarian to somebody that's a teacher posting an NJEA thing, I'm going to be like, wait a minute, you didn't laugh at my joke, you don't get to have this argument. And it's great, too. My sister's really nervous about me being here because she works for the school. She actually works in the Women and Gender Studies program here. She's on her way up the ladder, and she's like, Gerard, you're not a libertarian, you're a Republican with a weed addiction. All right? Which is so weird because my ultra-conservative grandmother's like, you're just a dirty hippie with a job. They don't understand us, you guys. I'm trying to explain to my sister, I'm like, no, look, just because I don't believe somebody is entitled to 40% of my earnings, right? If they didn't take my money, I could have bought Larry's shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, the wheel goes round, guys. Free market. You know what I mean? So, well, I'm trying to explain to her. I'm like, but we are socially liberal. She's like, you're not socially liberal. I was like, absolutely. We're a free choice. And she's like, then why aren't you coming to the marches with me? I said, because being socially liberal doesn't mean I need to go to Lesbian Comic-Con. I go to a march. Little does she know, I've been going to the marches. I haven't been marching. It's the only place I can sell a $100 vagina hat. See a market, fill a market. You know what I'm saying? And it's beautiful because I can sell it for $100 to the guys and $77 to the girls, and it works out. You know, fight the patriarchy. You know, it's great stuff, guys. But you see, you know, and when I have these conversations with my sister, you know, one thing is she's a tough nut to crack, but when we use comedy, right, as opposed to just being right, as opposed to saying, this is why you're dumb, this is why we're right, right, we're able to actually engage with them. So, you know, some lessons that I can show you from comedy, not from nutrition. I have nothing nutrition-wise to teach you today, but as far as lessons from comedy, a few things that I think each and every one of us here can do. Because if you're here, if you're engaging in the process, I think one of the things that as a libertarian, we have to understand, and I know that the leadership is probably going to hate me saying this, but all of us aren't positioning for leadership roles right now. We're positioning for sales and marketing. We're positioning for 20 years from now. We're positioning for 15 years from now. Maybe things happen quicker now with social media, with grassroots, right? The message of liberty is something that I think people are coming around to. You know, the idea of thinking for yourself is something that people are very reluctantly coming towards. Like, I just listened to CNN my whole life. Maybe you shouldn't do that. 5 years ago, they would have been like, screw you, CNN's great. And today they're like, all right, so what's this free thinking thing that you're talking about, guys? You know? You guys, so when people are talking about analytical mind and all this stuff, when we talk about learning from comedy, the first thing that you learn as a comedian is you learn to read the book, right? Read the room, guys. When you guys are having a conversation with someone, when you want to spread the message of liberty, when you have these great ideas that you spent your entire adult life cultivating, you want to tell people about. But in my experience with dealing with people and speaking with individuals, they don't care what you have to say. They care what they have to say, right? So one of the things that you want to do is read the room, guys. You know, one of the cool things about libertarianism when you're having these conversations with people is that you can connect with anybody on anything. There is an issue that you can find common ground with. Unfortunately, we're all born contrarians, so we're going to find something to argue with first and foremost, right? You like roads, right? My roads, my roads. And you know, I used to say dumb things like, you know, we had roads before federal tax extortion became legal in 1913, which I was totally right about. But they could care less. Because they're like, who's this smarmy, you know, that guy trying to talk at me? A lot of people that have political points of views, especially in New Jersey, they're more emotionally tied. It's a cultural thing. Their father was an iron worker. Their grandfather was an iron worker, right? But that being said, my godfather, I mean, he's to the left of Trotsky, right? He's vice president of Local 3. This was the very first election in his entire adult life, 40 years of voting, he didn't vote Democrat. Just didn't do it. And I said, why? And he voted Jill Stein. I couldn't get him over Gary Johnson. You know, he voted Jill Stein. And I said, so what was the deal? He goes, you know, the Democratic Party's left the working man. They've left the working man. And again, like I said, to the left of Trotsky. But between Obamacare, right, and between, you know, they're having this existential crisis with sanctuary cities and not understanding how that drives down the cost of labor. You see what I'm doing right now? This is me reading the room wrong, and this is me trying to show you how smart I am and not telling jokes like I'm brought up here to do. But anyway, long story short, he didn't vote. He didn't vote. He almost didn't vote at all, but he ended up voting for Stein. He wanted Bernie Sanders like all the other people, but he didn't vote. So right now, when you talk about, you know, vagina hats, and you talk about seeing a void and filling a void, that's a void, man. That's a guy for 40 years that is open to new ideas. And that's something where when you have a room full of people like this, you can double this room, triple this room in no time whatsoever. As long as, once again, you read the room. You find something to connect with people about as opposed to arguing with people about, right? Like we were talking in the back there, and, you know, we're talking about how, you know, the presidential debates went. And I was like, you know what's really messed up about me is I really like Austin Pearson. I really like him. But then the more I heard him talk, the more I was like, why does this young guy want to be a politician? Screw this guy. I don't respect his authority, you know? Like, and I think that that's one of the things where we run into, you know? It's like, you know, you listen to Larry on Facebook, it's like really, really great things. And then Larry's like doing his due diligence. You have to raise money. And it's like, no, this is a political party. I came here for the buffet. What the heck? You know? And it's this weird infancy step that we all have to get over. Like, what are we here for? What do we actively want to do? You know, and I think for people like me, I don't know about, you know, out there, I think one of the things that I've had to overcome is the need to be right and the need to be seen as smart and handsome and good looking and gorgeous and, you know, all those other things. And yeah, outstanding khakis, right? I didn't know that this was a suit and tie affair. I would have worn my my good sneakers. But yeah, again, I thought that there was going to be drug runs and babe circles and stuff. I didn't think that this was going to be as formal as it was. Forgive me for that. But yeah, so I mean, again, connecting with people is understanding, you know, about, you know, for example, like Jag, cool dude, right? So if I went up to Jag here, right, you would say, I love you as the scientist in Independence Day. And then you say taxation is theft. And you guys would like be totally friends from now on. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, I love this guy. No, but, you know, and understanding your role, understanding where you are. Like where you are right now, $500 donation, that's awesome, guys. In comedy, there's a hierarchy. You start with bringers. Does anybody know what a bringer show is? What's a bringer show?
You gotta bring 5 people.
You gotta bring 5 people for 3 minutes on stage, and you're normally terrible, and you don't know what you're doing. Your value to the club is that you help bring seats. There's people here that you guys are young. This is your first foray into this sort of stuff. Your job is a bringer. Your job is, hey, there's these really, really cool ideas that I'm kind of young at knowing, right? But it really interests me. You guys should bring other people to. You understand what I'm saying? So bring people to have the access to the things that interest you. That's how I got started in this stuff. You know, one of my friends looked at me and said, dude, you know, man, you should check out this guy, Ron Paul. I was like, I don't know. He's supposed to be some crazy guy from Texas, right? And he's talking about gold standard and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the heck is all this stuff? I have no idea what it is. But the more I listened to him, the more I watched him, I got hooked, right? So that guy brought me in, and now I brought other people in, and that's your role at the bottom of the rung. After that, you become a featured act, right? A featured act is the person that no one's ever heard of, and they bring you on stage, and you're like, he's played minor league baseball, and you know what I'm saying? And now, so you're a featured act. And now it's your job, now that you've brought people there, is to show people that, hey, look, this is young, this is cool, this is popular. You know, these are things from a marketing perspective. You look at a guy like Justin Trudeau, right? Everybody here like Justin Trudeau? No. Yeah. He's an idiot. I mean, let's be honest. The guy's a complete total contrarian, but he is gorgeous, right? Looks great in a suit. He goes out there, he's got that little Gaston smile, he looks at the ladies, he's like, hey, you know, we should give you your money. And they do, right? So I think that, again, that's something that we can all do. As I sit here and I lecture people on appearance in my khakis and nun-tuck shirt, right? This is the type of thing. So you're representing, you know, a movement that's pretty cool, guys. And I think that that's really the thing that we want to get across, is that we are trying to educate you on how to be free. You know, how this became an extreme perspective, how this became an extreme point of view is crazy to me, right? I sit, again, with my sister. I sit there and I have arguments with her, and she talks about how we should move towards socialism in Denmark and all these other same old tiger tropes that you can read off a slate word by word, right? I sit here and I'm like, you know, if this was the 14th century, you would be sitting here arguing with me. I would sit there and I'd be like, you know what, Emily? Our feudal lord sucks. This guy's terrible. And she'd be like, yeah, but where are you supposed to get the farms? Right? What happens if somebody else comes in? Where's our army going to come from? And we're sitting here like, unbelievable. People are really, really happy in their captivity. So again, going back to reading the room, you have to understand, right? We're all weird, right? I mean, is that fair? We're all weird. Everybody else reads something and they're like, all right, so I got to vote for this. What line am I voting? This is boring. I want to go back to watching the Kardashians. And all of us are sitting here like, whoa. Let's read this line by line. You know, on page 16 of the what was it back there? What were you saying? What were you saying?
CIA World Book.
The CIA World Factbook.
The World Factbook.
Factbook,
Yeah. I love that dude. He turned to me and goes, you know, you ever read the CIA World Factbook? And I was like, yeah, I got I got it right next to the toilet at home.
I do.
That's such a libertarian thing when I first walked in. It was such like a have you ever tripped over the CIA World Factbook? I perused it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so if you're talking to like a waitress at Applebee's and you want to have a conversation with her, and you connected with her on such a small level, and she's like, oh man, I can't believe the taxes went up. And you're like, yeah, well, let me tell you about page 16 of the CIA World Factbook. They'll be like, all right, sir, here's your check, leave me alone. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that doesn't make you wrong. That makes you awesome, right? But in the beginning, there might be like some better ways to get in there a little bit. So again, getting back to connecting with the room. So I was talking to the guys in the back about how they're like, how do you do, political comedy in New York? Like, what do you do? It's very far left. I follow like unabashed Marxist up to the stage. What do I do? I say, I don't do comedy. I don't do political comedy. I find another way to connect with the crowd. I talk about awesome stuff, but then little tiny, after you win the crowd over, you get them in. You say, so, how do you explain the free market? I say, Nintendo DS. Nintendo DS explains everything you need to know about the free market. And they're like, why? It's like, why would, for those people, does everybody here know what Nintendo DS is? Yep. Yeah. You see how you whistled, right? You know why? Because you, like me, probably lost your virginity to a Nintendo cartridge when you were 12 years old, right? So now that we're all 30, 35 years old, right? Everybody's like, why is this 8-bit console popular again? It's popular again because when I was a kid, to make those things work, you had to get in there and, so you do that like 30, 40 times. It never calls you in the morning. It has a special place in your heart. It has a special place in your heart. So now, understanding that bad technology is now popular again, right? That's understanding the market. People will never understand when you talk about totalitarianism, utilitarianism, and all this stuff. They don't understand the humanity of this, right? You want to donate to charity? Donate to charity. Go for it. Spend every dollar you have. Don't spend my money, right? Don't donate my money to charity. I know that makes me sound like a jerk, but that should be my prerogative to do, right? I love when people talk about, what would libertarians do as far as foreign policy is concerned. Libertarian, that's another one that I hear all the time. Libertarianism can only work on a local level. Can't work on a federal level. Plus, it's an unrealistic federal policy, right? I just don't see, when people are arguing about should we go sanctions in Iran or should we bomb Iran, as if those are the only two ways to go about this. Now, I don't know enough about Iran. I just know that there has to be a better way of blowing up a cave than with a $280,000 Javelin missile. You know what I'm saying? And when we're talking about, and again, some of my best friends are servicemen. I don't want to sound like I'm ripping on servicemen, but I have a very hard time believing, the company line that we are protecting freedom 14,000 miles away from our shores, right? So again, if I lead in with this conversation, reading a room at Applebee's, and say, I really miss my boyfriend. He's been out in Iraq. I understand that that's a great opportunity to say, yeah, we really wish he wasn't there. He shouldn't be there. This is garbage. But leading with, he's not protecting our freedom 14,000 miles from our shore is not really the way to go, right, guys? So, again, understanding exciting times. The last thing, something that happens in comedy all the time is you don't eat yourself, right? And I know that doesn't mean what you think it means, but you don't eat yourself, guys. So when somebody gets popular in comedy, everybody loves the underdog. Everybody loves the person that's struggling, right? When your best friend, you're doing these comedy shows, you're staying in a Red Roof Inn together, you're bonding over your bed bug bites, right? It's awesome stuff. Then that guy gets to play the comedy seller and you don't, and you're sitting here like, immediately your first reaction is, screw this guy, he's a seller. You know what I'm saying? I see that in politics and in lower level politics more than I see it anywhere else. When you're commiserating with somebody, when you're having cocktails with them and you guys are connecting over awesome stuff, right? And then that person gets a little popular. Everybody comes out of the woodwork to rip them down. I see it talk about, Facebook guys and popular social media guys. Anybody here follow Eric July from Backwards? Yeah. Well, I gotta be honest, thought there'd be a little less white people here, but a little less. But Eric July is a great dude, funny dude, African-American guy. He goes after some real tough issues and he comes at them with real talk. He doesn't mince words. he's not always right about anything. He's fighting the good fight. And now I've watched him over the course of the last 2 years, his rise in popularity went from, oh my God, you're a libertarian rapper, you're putting it out there, that's sick, that's awesome, to now he's pretty popular, he's got a Facebook page, he's got like 100,000 views, and if you go to his comments, it's like shopping at Walmart, like, you know, it's the worst stuff you've ever heard in your entire life. You know, as you see, you're not a real libertarian, you're not this, you're not that. So, you know, you see this all the time, I think, with libertarianism, at least online, at least in the media, right? In that we build people up, we allow them to get to a certain level, then it's like, wait a minute, these guys want power, screw them, we hate everybody that wants power. You understand? So in the comedy world, we call it don't eat your own. You understand what I'm saying? When people get the national, you know, they get national coverage, when they have that platform, we have to do everything we can to support those people that have that platform. They're fighting a good fight. Are they going to agree with everything that you say? Absolutely not. There's right-leaning libertarians, there's left-leaning libertarians. There's, you know, anarchists that don't have anybody else to hang out with, so they hang out with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So there's people that are, you know, aren't allowed to speak at their holiday parties with their family. You know, this is the type of stuff, right? That we need to support one another when people have these platforms. We need to do everything we can to support them. Whether it's spending $500, you know, whether it's coming to a comedy show in New York or Atlantic City, you know, March 11th, March 18th, March 22nd, April 4th, you know, whether it's doing that or whether it's just, you know, showing support and saying, you know what, I may disagree with what you're saying, but I appreciate your willingness to say it, as opposed to, screw you, you're not a real libertarian, you know what I'm saying, guys? So I think, you know, in closing, again, I just want to thank, you know, all you guys for having me out here today. It was really awesome of you. I think that this is really, really cool. A full room in New Jersey. You know, this is really, really a great start. You know, I wish we could have got to that 5% level in this past election. It would have been nice to have some money. We wouldn't have to go selling T-shirts at, you know, 1,600% markup. You know, to have some fun. That was awesome, man. Gotta get 700. Gotta get 650. You know. Next time we're gonna get him a cane and a top hat. It's gonna be sick, man. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I gotta tell you guys, it's really something that I'm very passionate about, and I do appreciate the opportunity to speak and tell some jokes, and you know, something that each and every one of you, just by being out here, it shows your commitment to the cause of freedom. And I can't think of